isn't something to put off. Advanced Medical Imaging, your diagnosis, their priority.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC. And wow, what a great spring it has been here. We've had record sales happening at Koppel. And to show our appreciation, Koppel is giving out employee pricing on select new models. Yes, you heard that right. Employee pricing is happening right now at Koppel on select new models. So please stop on in the store and see the team or check us out online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did. Some rebates to dealer.
Hey, Husker Nation. This is Todd Uhlir, two-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top-quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at windowworldlincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Spring sports are here and it's time to upgrade your equipment. But don't go rushing to your big box store. Play It Again Sports is your place to go for all spring sports equipment for baseball, softball, golf, and disc golf. Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And don't forget, buying from them is a great way to get new products with great discounts by also bringing in your used items for store credit or cash on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
This is Jordy Ball for Anderson Ford. For years, Anderson has relied on an exceptional customer experience. But just this once, they're going to rely on a really great pitch.
Right now, lease a 2026 Ford F-150 for $197 per month for 36 months.
Experience better at Anderson Ford.
Stock number 1008753, allowing a month lease for 36 months with approved credit, 7,500 miles per year, 10,250 due at signing, no security deposit required, tax, title, and license fees extra, residency restrictions apply. Program subject to change. Must take new retail delivery from Anderson Auto Group by 4/30/26.
A lot of businesses say they're family focused, but when tough situations in life arise, the business wants anything but your best interests. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring, and they will always treat their employees like family, just as they do their customers. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring Class A and B CDL drivers, a shop tech, and a diesel mechanic. If you're looking for a career with a company that goes above and beyond to value you and your family, apply today at jamesenterpriseinc.com or call 402-432-6740.
Rick Heyman here from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sartor Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at sartorheyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is the Power Hour with two-time national champion Todd Uhlir. Powered by Window World of Lincoln and SetTheBarSups.com.
All right. Good morning, Husker Nation. You're locked into episode 76 of the Power Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and streaming live at theticketfm.com. And today we got a lot going on across Husker Nation. So let's start at the top. The rebuild of Memorial Stadium has officially passed, which means the future of Nebraska football just took a major step forward, in my opinion. We will discuss. This isn't just construction, right? This is about the next generation of Husker football. So, and then on the diamond, Husker baseball is searching right now. Back-to-back losses to Kansas and Illinois. And this is where you find out what kind of team you really are. We got to get this one today and win the series tomorrow, hopefully. So we'll talk a little bit about that. And then meanwhile, back here in Lincoln, Husker softball is doing exactly what winning teams do. And they're number one, right?
Softball America poll. There's like four or five different polls. But as we mentioned on the last show, we said that we look at the one where you're the highest ranked.
Yes, we're number one.
Softball America,
we're number one.
Nebraska softball, number one. You're going to the game today.
Going to the game. Gonna hopefully watch them. Like, once again, Iowa. We need to, I want to go to a game where we beat Iowa. Haven't been to a game where Nebraska has beat Iowa in a long time. Never been to a Husker volleyball game, so like I could go to the Husker Iowa volleyball game and know that we'll win that.
It's usually
I don't think Iowa's
it up.
ever beat Nebraska in volleyball. I don't believe it. I may be wrong on that, but I'm sure some of the Iowa fans out there might correct me if I'm wrong. But I don't think the volleyball team has ever beat Nebraska. So we've got that. Yesterday back-to-back wins in the doubleheader, 9-1 and 5-2. So today they go for the sweep on Senior Day, last home game of the regular season. So that's hopefully they can get her done, get some momentum, and build that confidence going into Big Ten tournament play. Correct?
Yep, it will be there.
So
also in the Big Ten era, Nebraska's 41-0 against Iowa in volleyball. So you're right. Yeah. You stand corrected.
It's been
a minute
since I was beating Nebraska. So and then across the football world, obviously the NFL draft is going on. We can talk a little bit about obviously last night's some of the surprises, maybe that kind of thing if we get time here at the end of the show. But the big question is does Nebraska's Emmett Johnson hear his name called today, right? We really like 3 running backs have been drafted so far. So he's got to be one of the top guys on the board right now. So if he does, where does he land? All right. So it's a big day. This is a big moment, and we're breaking it all down. And once again, this show is brought to you by Window World of Lincoln, your one-stop shop for exterior remodeling, window siding, doors, and roofing. Check them out at windowworldlincoln.com and setthebarsups.com, your go-to for supplements, performance, and recovery. If you're serious about results, that's where you go. So buckle up, turn it up, and let's get into it. The Power Hour is here, and it starts right now. So, all right, let's jump into this rebuild, right? So let's start. That's the biggest headline. The Regents approved a $600 million rebuild of Memorial Stadium. So text into the Starter Heyman text line, 402-464-5685, and let us know your take on this rebuild. So obviously I'm an old school Husker, played in the 90s when we were pretty dominant, grew up watching through the 80s of, the Tom Osborne heyday era. He won 9 games every single year, 25 years in a row. We haven't seen anything like that in a while. So this rebuild, once again, I love Memorial Stadium. I've traveled all over the country. I've been to probably a lot more stadiums than most. And I would still say Memorial Stadium is a pretty good experience, but elevating it to this next level from what I've seen, the little video they put out last night, the fly through, it's going to make it a little more accessible to get in and out, which is nice because it is hard, depending on where your seats are.
With the traffic, when you can't really go against the wave. If you're going to the bathroom or whatever, if you're leaving, you got to follow the wave.
So, and I mean, if you've been to Jerry's World, have you ever been to Jerry's World?
I have not, but AT&T, obviously.
Yeah, AT&T. So that's kind of the Mecca, right? Like that was and it's been there for a while now. But if you don't even know there's other fans at that game, and there's 90,000 that they put in there because the corridors are so big. Now, I also went to a Bears-Vikings game in the old Dome. I have not been to the new one yet. I plan on getting up there sometime, especially if maybe Emmett goes to Minnesota. That would be nice. We'll see.
Let's see. U.S. Bank Stadium is the one you're talking about.
The new one. Yeah. But the old one, the Dome, you literally, you were scrunched in, shoulder to shoulder, and we went in the wrong gate.
Oh, okay.
And had to fight we literally got in our seats as they were playing the national anthem. So we went an hour early. So it was kind of crazy as far as, and you can run into that in the North Stadium because I had season tickets in the North Stadium for a long time. Now I sit in the East because that's where the players' tickets are. It's nice.
That's fair.
And it's pretty easy to get into the East. But when you're up high in the North, it can take some time. There was plenty of times where, and then if you want to go to the bathroom, like you said, and you got to fight traffic on that. So I think the rebuild, the revamp, obviously it looks like we're going to put in a, 10,000 square foot video screen, which is, I think we have one of the bigger ones already, but I think this will, this will take it to the next level as far as replay screens, that kind of thing go. And I love that Nebraska is trying to stay on, the leading edge of all this. Now we just need the team to come in and back it up, right?
So Mr. Worldwide in Fallbrook on our Starter Heyman Jewelers text line. As always, you want to comment on there or on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube as well. We're talking about the Big Red Go Big Red rebuild that's going on right now with the Memorial Stadium. He says the rebuild is for the fans. He says deserve it after years of watching mediocre teams. I mean, the fan experience is a big thing. You want to be able to have the season, not only just the season ticket holders, but then to come back. You want to have a good experience. You touched on the renovations as well. They talked about the troughs. Are you a trough guy in the bathroom? A trough?
No.
No, you're not a trough guy.
No.
I think that's part of the
allure.
That's part of the Nebraska allure and the experience as well. I think at some point, you've gone to the bathroom there and you're shoulder to shoulder with that is just part of the, every Nebraskan has had that kind of moment. But hey,
the troughs. I didn't even think about the troughs.
Everybody's experienced.
Yes,
there's usually a line.
It's just been what it's been
exactly.
forever. It's always been.
Everybody had an experience with it, but they're upgrading that. Obviously, the video board will look really cool. You have different tiers. They're kind of. I think it's more of a modernizing Memorial Stadium because obviously it's been there for years and years and years. Like you said, in the '90s, they were winning a lot of football games. I was born in '98, so I never really saw a whole lot of that.
You always kind of wonder, like, how are they going to do that? Like, I was a season ticket holder for the Chiefs when they went through their rebuild. And, I was like, man, what are they really going to spend all this money on? And, man, they really did a good job. And now, obviously, they're going to Kansas, which is awesome. They're going to build a completely new stadium. So they really upgraded Arrowhead when they did their rebuild there. And I didn't think, like, you're like, what, how? Like, it's pretty cool. And just looking at the designs of what they have and making it kind of tiered. And like you said, bringing it into the 21st century, like Memorial Stadium's been around for how long? 100 years plus?
Probably plus. I mean, it's been around forever. I mean, even before. I'm looking right now at some of the blueprints. I mean,
it's insane.
It's awesome, it's wild.
Right?
The big key points basically just upgrading their amenities. The fan flow is a big one, like you mentioned. Improved access. The improved Wi-Fi is another one too. Everybody's been to a game and you're trying to go on your phone. You're in.
Well, yeah, you got to post the videos and all that stuff. Like
exactly. You post your Snapchat stories or what, Instagram, your Facebook Reels or whatever. Sometimes that doesn't load until you get in the car and afterwards.
And sometimes even longer than that. Yeah.
Exactly. So it's for the fans. Like obviously they're contacting the season ticket holders where they're going to be, obviously cutting down a little bit of South Stadium. They're going to be, there'll be a 70.
So capacity, right? We're going to lose some capacity. And literally this morning had this argument with another celebrity host here on the ticket. Just a little bit ago, he's like, I'd rather have 90,000 people than 80, know? And I like, wait a minute. When we played, there's like 78,000, 74,000, and it was loud. It was loud, but we were winning, We have 90,000 now, and it does get loud, but I'm telling you, the loudest game, Nick, ever that I've been to in Memorial Stadium was Notre Dame. In 01, I believe it was 01 at home. It had to be. Yeah, because we played there in 2000, and then we came back home in 01. That's the loudest I've ever heard the stadium. And there was probably, I don't know what the capacity was then in 01, but.
It looks like 78,118 according to this. Nebraska won that game 27-10 in that one.
It was awesome. My little brother was on the team. Eric Crouch was a quarterback. It was so loud, guys. And then the second loudest was Texas, and they ended up we turned it over, and they ended up kicking a field goal to win that game. That was probably the second loudest. Now Notre Dame, I was in East Stadium. Texas, I was in North Stadium, and it's a different experience depending on what stadium or what side of the stadium you're in, I believe. I've never really sat in the West. I've sat in the press. I've sat in a West box. Bauer Underground has a box, and I watched a Wisconsin game that we got absolutely drubbed in. So, so different experience. I have sat in the South Stadium, pretty loud in the South Stadium. So I think that it is for the fans, right? This isn't necessarily a recruiting tool, but it will be, right? Because I think it'll, from what I can see, building it up the way they're doing it, kind of in making it more of a bowl instead of kind of spread out high. I think it'll be louder with 80,000 people.
Oh, they're trying to make it a cathedral of college football, basically. Right. They have the timeline if you want to check it out. It's a bigredrebuild.com. They have a timeline, kind of a nice little what it's based. So this summer they're going to be doing the work begins on it. December of 2026, demolition of South and West seating bowl for that one. March of 2027, the construction will begin on the South and West bowl over there. So that's when you'll officially see, people start to tear down some things. Spring of 2027, they'll reduce the capacity for seat selection for 2027 season. They said if you're a season ticket holder, the university athletic department will contact you about that. So obviously you're hoping you get a phone call. I mean, I guess you're kind of hoping not. I mean, it all depends who you are and where your seats are. Partial completion of South and West will be in the fall of 2027. That will lead up into that season where you'll have a limited capacity of, I say limited, but still 75,000 plus people. Spring of 2028, you'll have the seat selection for 2028 will begin. And then this will be completed as of right now, fall of 2028, before the season kicks off for that year. So it's a very quick project. I feel like a lot of these projects, I feel like, take time. So it's interesting to see how it goes. Obviously, with the weather in Nebraska, maybe you hope it doesn't get delayed by snow or rain or everything. But it seems like everybody's all put on. This really took really quick. We talked last week about turf and grass. Troy Danon officially said no grass. That was on the radar for a bit. Yeah. It's just gonna be the turf because, as they said when they put out the press release that this was going to be a thing, they want to host it for other concerts and everything else. So
make it a venue instead of just football games.
And then you got to think like state football as well. We talked about that last week. Turf is more manageable than grass, and you're playing 6 games in 2 days there. And then, we're maybe going to have the concerts as well. And I don't know what that would look like laying it on grass, but
Let's be honest. The turf now is so much better than what I played on.
Yes.
I mean, I played on Astro turf, so it was like you literally did not want any skin showing when you were out there on that turf, because if you had it showing, it was going to come off.
Ripped it off. Yeah.
And I've still got scars that prove that I was there, right? So in this new stuff, like my son's got very little turf burns, and he's been playing for 2 years. So I think it says a lot of it. Like, this isn't just a renovation; it's a reinvestment, right? So competing in modern college football requires facilities, and we obviously opened the Osborne facility, legacy facility, a couple years ago, and is that helping our recruiting? I would hope so. It's a phenomenal facility. If you haven't been in it, go. I know they do tours every now and then of it, so go check it out. It's unlike anything I've seen anywhere else in the country. It will help with the recruiting, the stadium will, right? But the fan experience and the long-term vision, right? Long-term Husker football vision. And once again, our fans have packed that stadium for 410 games in a row. They deserve, man, I'm going to get that little coffee.
Yeah, like you said, they
deserve this upgrade, right? They've been, and especially with, the last 20 years of being really mediocre football. So, you're not what I think it shows some leadership, right? You don't rebuild a stadium unless you're serious about rebuilding this program, right? So I think that's what it really says about our leadership. And obviously Trev Alberts was going down this line before he decided to step away and go to Texas A&M, and then Troy Danon stepped into it and said, hey, hold on, I want to reevaluate this on my own, and obviously came to terms. And I think when Trev, and this is how crazy the economy is. Trev 2 years ago wanted $450 million.
Yep.
We're at $600 million.
Little bit of a step up where you know.
So, but it does look different than what Trev had from what I could see, what I remember seeing. So, but yeah. So do you like the stadium rebuild? Like, if the pros, the cons, obviously I only see pros in this, right? There could be some cons to the fact that there's old school people that just like it the way it is.
People don't like change,
right?
That's just how it is, how people are function. Bob Goman on our Facebook chat says it's amazing that they are opening up for concerts now. For the longest time, the university and et cetera were hated that idea of that. Now it's like all for it. I like it. It's obviously if you have
so tonight.
Zach Bryan.
It's hopefully it doesn't rain on him.
It keeps getting a little darker out every so minute. We're sitting around here. The sun was out when I walked over at 8. Now if it does rain, rain or shine, it should go on. I would assume.
They're going to have the stage covered and all that.
Exactly. There might be
the fans will be cold and wet, but
hey, you paid a lot of money.
Yeah,
you paid a lot of money. So
my daughter has tickets to it with her boyfriend and his brother and girlfriend. So she's going to it. So we'll see how that goes. Has there ever been a concert?
There's been. So I was talking to Matt Warner before we got there. We talked about concerts. So you were Farm Aid way back when.
Oh yeah.
So Farm Aid, he was like, Matt Warner's like,
right.
I went to Farm Aid.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit of history. There's been a couple of concerts there. I know. Didn't they have something? Volleyball day. They had the guy part of that as well.
Right,
Scotty McCreary, I think was his name. Country singer. I'm not caught up on my pop culture, but yes, I know a little bit. But like that opens the door for bigger acts. Like Zach Bryan's a pretty big deal when he's coming into your town. You also got to think like these big pop culture, these big acts going around.
Imagine Taylor Swift.
That's the next one I was gonna say. Like
right.
Kansas City's just right down the road. Like say she's on her tour. Or, I don't know who else is really hip these days, but like that, you have that concert in your backyard. That's a name that everybody recognizes, and you have all these businesses down here. You get something to eat before. It drives up everybody. It's a pro for everybody involved, not just the university, but also involved with those. The fan experience, I think that goes in hand with not just the 6 or 7, 8 football games you get at Memorial Stadium a year, but you also have the concerts that come around. The summer would be crazy because Pinnacle Bank has a lot of stuff, but you also, bigger acts out the year. I don't know if
Pinnacle only holds so many.
Exactly.
Though,
if Bruno Mars or somebody like that came into town, like you could easily sell.
So let's do that next. Who do you want to see at Memorial Stadium? If you had a choice, who do you want to see? Who would you buy a ticket for? I'm not a huge Zach Bryan fan, so I knew he was coming, and my daughter's so pumped. But for me, man, I'm an old school kind of rock guy. So if Guns N' Roses put on a reunion tour, I would probably go to that at Memorial Stadium, something like that.
So 4530 says there was rain during Farm Aid, so maybe a callback to that. I obviously wasn't around for that, but
alive. I was probably pretty young. What year was Farm Aid? That's interesting.
I don't know. I know they had it there for sure. Let's do some history here.
Matt's only a couple years older than me, so
yeah. So I remember he said he was there for it, and he said He said there was some rain during it as well. The inaugural Farm Aid concert was held on September 22nd, 1985 at Memorial Stadium. Oh, that was in Illinois, but the one I'm trying to find the one in Lincoln, because obviously like this was a historical thing at the time. That was in 1987 concert, drew 69,000 people and raised $1.7 million that year during the 1980s farm crisis.
So I would have been 12. Matt would have been, I think Matt's 4 years older than me, so he would have been like 16. Yeah, so that's kind of cool. Yeah, I remember Farm Aid a lot. Like people don't understand. Like we had no computers, we had no internet.
That was a big deal.
Yeah, that was it. That was a big deal. So I didn't come to my first Nebraska football game until I was a 7th grader when I saw my first home Nebraska football game. So
I think my first one, I saw the spring game that year, but my first one was Sam Keller's first start with like Marlon Lucky. Yeah. They played Nevada, I remember, because then they played at Wake Forest, and then Sam Keller gets hurt, and then all of a sudden a guy named Joe Gans becomes a quarterback and is slinging it. That was Bill Callahan's last year, so it wasn't a good year. So my first first full season, I remember like recollecting like seeing like as a kindergartner seeing Zach Taylor play in like 2005, but like I wasn't like, man, this is Nebraska football. I didn't really understand the lore behind it and everything. And then I go into my first season, they go 5-7 and lose to Dan Hawkins in Colorado, fire the coach, and then LSU does well and they hire a guy named Bo Pelini, and then that's the area I grew up on. So that's interesting.
Yeah. So, obviously I grew up with the Tom Osborne era, and it was just 9 wins every year. We, it was us in Oklahoma every year. So, all right, well, we need to go to break. So keep texting in what you think of the rebuild, who you would like to see in Memorial Stadium. And when we come back, we're going to talk Husker baseball, Husker softball, and NFL drafts. So stick with us here on the Power Hour on 93.7 The Ticket. We'll be right back.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Time for a new AC? Call Bryant. Get rebates now and lower operating costs every day. For comfort and efficiency, call 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Put lawn irrigation on automatic. Think Judson Irrigation for worry-free service to Lincoln homeowners and business community. Judson Irrigation will turn on your sprinkler system in the spring, repair or redesign as needed, and turn it off in the fall. For service to orphan sprinklers, remember Judson Irrigation. They'll never forget you.
Call the Judson Irrigation Orphanage, 402-420-6277, or judsonirrigation.com.
Constructors is now hiring for all positions, with pay starting at 23 and up based on experience. Constructors has immediate job openings for mechanics, bridge builders, operators, and drivers. Start your new career today. Constructors offer great pay, health, dental, and vision, paid time off, paid holidays, and so much more. Join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. For a complete list of openings and to apply online, visit constructorslincoln.com.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstorats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
93.7 The Ticket is Lincoln's home for Kansas City Royals baseball in 2026. Catch all the action as Bobby Witt Jr., Salvador Perez, Vinny Pasquantino, and a pitching rotation led by Cole Reagans try to lead the Royals back to the postseason. That's Kansas City Royals baseball all summer long. On the air in Lincoln at 93.7 The Ticket.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. A lot of businesses say they're family focused, but when tough situations in life arise, the business wants anything but your best interests. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring, and they will always treat their employees like family, just as they do their customers. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring Class A and B CDL drivers, a shop tech, and a diesel mechanic. If you're looking for a career with a company that goes above and beyond to value you and your family, apply today at jamesenterpriseinc.com or call 402-432-6740.
Cinco de Mayo will be here before you know it on May 5th, and Tipsy Tina's is the place to be. Come down to 8th and Q starting at 2 p.m. on May 5th for the Street Festival, featuring piñatas, giveaways, and more. Plus, see llamas from Sweet and Sassy Llama Farm from 5:30 to 7:30. DJ Joe Cruz will entertain starting at 7 p.m. with a spicy taco eating contest at 7:30. And the best part, as always, no cover charge. It's the early Cinco de Mayo Street Festival with Tipsy Tina's Taco Cantina, Tuesday, May 5th, beginning at 2 p.m. at 8th and Q.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all. O Street Carpet. 1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC. And wow, what a great spring it has been here. We've had record sales happening at Koppel. And to show our appreciation, Koppel is giving out employee pricing on select new models. Yes, you heard that right. Employee pricing is happening right now at Koppel on select new models. So please stop on in the store and see the team or check us out online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did. Some rebates to dealer.
Back to the Power Hour with Todd Uhlir on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back to the Power Hour. This segment is brought to you by SethBarSubs.com, your go-to for supplements, performance, and recovery. All right, we talked about the rebuild. Let's talk about this Husker baseball team for a little bit. They traveled to Kansas, lost a tough one there on Tuesday night. I watched that. That was tough. Kansas got a really good ball team this year, so I don't feel horrible about it. But and it's just one game. But to then travel out to Illinois yesterday and not take care of business, losing 10-5.
10-5, fell down 7-0 to begin that one and tried to pull off another cardiac Husker moment on a Friday night, but Kansas, you mentioned, they set the attendance record of their ballpark. They were a struggling baseball program a couple of years ago. I remember they had to beg fans to come. They put like beer kegs in the berms there to beg fans to come watch their baseball team. And now they're rocking. They're top six. They might host a regional.
Yeah, they could host the regional. We were hoping to host the regional, but with these, you got to finish the season out strong to host the regional. So it's looking more like Kansas may host that regional instead of Nebraska, right? So keys kind of here, they do tend to have a super slow start, right, to every game, and then they kind of pour it on the end. So we've got to figure out. Obviously, changed out Friday night starters. This is the second week. Can't think of the kid's name.
Ty Horn to start, and then Cooper Katsky. Yes, Cooper Katsky was yesterday's Friday night starter.
Cooper, had a rough go last Friday, but obviously the team was able to come back and win that game against USC. But this week against Illinois, tough start and just too big of a hole to dig out of. So hopefully today we can get it rolling. Get some hits early and not fall behind, right? So baseball's just that game of momentum, right? Like you get hot and everybody starts hitting, or you're cold and nobody can do anything, and it's day to day. I guess that's why they play 162 games
in the majors. Yep.
It's just it's a crazy game. You get a pitcher that's hot, that's hitting all his spots, and you can't touch him, right? And then the next day, you just tee off on a really good pitcher, right? So it's an interesting game. So looking for the Huskers to bounce back here against Illinois. Obviously, the travel may have something to do with that, being on the road Tuesday and then back on the road all this weekend in Illinois. Don't know what that stadium's like. I'm guessing they're not a great baseball.
They're around 500 right now. So that yesterday was, if they win the series, that's a huge money. They're 21-18. 9-10 in Big Ten play. They're hovering around the middle ground where they're trying to put themselves in a better position. If they get a big series win over Nebraska, I mean, they're going to have a tall task. Carson Yass is pitching for Nebraska. He's 7-1, 3.93 ERA. A lot of strikeouts, a very hard throwing pitcher. On the other side, Mitch Dye is going for Illinois. He's 1-0 with a 5 ERA. So Nebraska obviously has the advantage on the mound there, but like you said, can't fall behind because they've been slow starters. And in baseball, it's all about momentum. If you're playing a good team and they put a 7 spot up on you in 3 innings, it's gonna be tougher to come back from versus Illinois. But they did prove it they could do it against USC. But you need the bats to stay hot because last weekend, I mean, they scored 30 some runs in 3 games. So wild weekend for them. But season advances.
So
we'll
we
see
know
what
they can do it. So they just need to show up and take care of business today and tomorrow. Win that series. I always say, it's about winning series. I've said that all season long. You're not going to win every game in baseball. It's can we bounce back from a 10-5 loss and win 2 games in a row against them? That would show some moxie in this team, and we need to see that out of this team right now. Leading up to the Big Ten tournament, right now, not all do all Big Ten teams make the tournament?
So they changed the format this year. I know it used to be 8, and they used to just do them by each side or whatever, and double elim. Last year's was a mess. I don't know if you remember, they did like pool play. There was pool A, pool B, and pool C, and then there was like games that didn't really matter because teams already clinched, which is Nebraska won it, but it was just messy. I know. I think it's 12 teams this year. The top 4 get a first, a bye from the
similar to the basketball,
sort of. But it's also double elim still, which is very. The format has just completely changed this year. I had it the other day because it was all, it got announced they were changing the format before the season started. So it's held May 19th to the 24th in Omaha at Charles Schwab. 12 teams make it in, so you're in the top 12 in the conference. So seeds 5 through 12 will play a double elimination bracket for the first 3 days of the tournament. So being a top 4 team's huge. With the 4 winners,
where are we at?
Nebraska's right now number 2, right behind UCLA. Okay. So they're up there. They're more than likely going to be them being in a top. USC still up there as well. Oregon, those are probably your top 4 in some shape or form. Okay. So the first 3 days, or the 5 through 12 double elims, with the 4 winners advancing to face the 1 through 4 in a single elimination bracket. So it's single elim once you get to the round, the quarterfinals. So the 1 through 4 have a huge advantage because you're not burning through pitching. So let's say you're the 5 seed, you may play like a very long game, pitch 6 or 7, 8 guys, and then you have the your Oregons, UCLA's, your Nebraskas, and USC. They're well rested. However, in baseball, we've seen time and time again,
it takes one game.
It takes one game, and teams sometimes have a couple days off, and they're not in rhythm. And teams who are playing these, I don't know, it's a weird sport, like you said, like USC could, or we could say like an Illinois team plays in the double elim 5 through 12 round, wins a couple games, ends up playing like a USC and beats them because they're in rhythm. I don't know. It's a weird sport. So I like this format better than the pool play and
what it was last year.
Last year was weird. 3 pool winners plus the best second team, and some people already clinched after 2 games. So like they were playing for nothing. Some teams' seasons were already over. It was very weird.
Yeah, I never really liked the pool play idea. They do that a ton in the travel baseball world. So you go out and you play 2 games, and it was based on how many runs you scored and how many
run differential. Yeah,
you allowed. And so there was lots of times we were like the number 1 seed, but we get you get beat by the lowest seed because they didn't care. Well, once again, you weren't ever eliminated after the first 2 games, right? So you played the first 2 games and then you were seeded after that. And a lot of times, if you go to win those first 2 games, you're using your best pitchers. And now you're in day 3 and your pitching's less. So I was never the coach, thank goodness. But really those pool play games didn't really matter. So we shouldn't be throwing our best pitchers in those pool games. We should just, let's save our best pitchers for the final 2 days.
Exactly. That's the hardest thing though. But then there's never a guaranteed win too. So then, so being managing your bullpen, your rotation is such a hard job to do.
Yeah. It's just a crazy game. And once again, when you're coaching kids, MLB is a little different. These are professional.
Exactly.
They've been doing this for a while. Right. But coaching kids and just their emotions at those, and the maturity level and how they handle defeat And that's one thing I loved about baseball. Like, in football, for me, I lost 7 games in my entire career, like from junior high through college.
Mhm.
Like, I didn't ever really learn how to lose much, right? In baseball, you learn how to, adversity and what losing feels like, right? And once again, you never go to a game with the expectations to lose. But there's just sometimes you come up against a team that gets hot in baseball, and we had a really good the Omaha Tigers, and I can't remember, it had been 6 years ago. I mean, every single one of those kids went Division I in a sport. One of them got drafted, and we never won a tournament. Well, I'm sorry, I take that. We won the state tournament, but anytime we traveled
for like a weekend tournament,
right? Like with these big tournaments, we went to some pretty. I mean, I would say a lot of the teams we played have kids that are in the MLB right now, like maybe in the farm systems, like Cale Fountain is, right?
Yep.
So, pretty crazy. You run up against some really good talent when you travel as much as we did for baseball, and we never won a tournament outside of the state of Nebraska. We would win the Nebraska tournaments. And then also there was a really good team in Nebraska that always, took us to the edge as far as, and it was always a great game. Jamel Williams kid was on that team that we played against. Nick Van Tiger, who's playing for Creighton right now, is on that team. There's some really good kids on those teams that we played against. I think there's a couple kids at Kansas State that were on that team. So a lot of fun. Baseball's awesome. So hopefully the Big Red can get a rolling today, get off to a good start early, and just take care of business.
And
so
softball's here in about a couple hours too.
Softball's coming up. We're going to talk about softball when we come back from the break and wrap things up. So let's do that. Let's go to break, and when we come back, we'll talk Husker softball. We'll talk NFL draft. And we'll finish up this quick show. Man, it's flying by.
Flies by when you're having fun, right?
Stay with us here on the Power Hour on 93.7 The Ticket. We'll be right back.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Tune in to Outside the Box from 4 to 5 p.m. for everything you need to know about the Lincoln Stars. Join head coach Rocky Russo and play-by-play voice Alex Fern as they sit down with special player guests to tell the story of the Lincoln Stars and give you all the news and notes you need from around the USHL. That's Outside the Box with the Lincoln Stars on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. April is Parkinson's Awareness Month, and guys, this is your reminder to take your health seriously. If you've noticed tremors, stiffness, or slower movement, don't ignore it. Parkinson's disease affects men more often, and early detection can make all the difference. This spring, take control. Get answers, take action. At Advanced Medical Imaging, they're helping you spring back into health with advanced technology and compassionate care. Because your health isn't something to put off. Advanced Medical Imaging. Your diagnosis, their priority.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
Nebco is hiring CDL drivers for Ready Mixed Concrete in Lincoln and Palmyra. Ready Mixed offers great pay, medical and retirement benefits, paid time off, and they cover the cost of CDL training. Apply with Ready Mixed Concrete today to be eligible for a $2,500 hiring bonus. From Nebco's beginning in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today with Ready Mixed Concrete. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
Dillon's Auto reminds listeners as our troops return home, many are left unemployed and deserted. Over 1 million veterans across the United States are currently looking for jobs despite having special skills and elite military training. Let's welcome troops with open arms and make 2026 a year to hire smart and hire veterans. Dillon's Auto. For all your auto needs and more, call the pros at Dillon's Auto today at 402-477-0404. That's 402-477-0404. Dillon's Auto, on the air because they care.
Keep summer green with Judson Baleen and Judson Irrigation. More than 40 years ago, Judson Irrigation started taking in orphans. Lawn sprinkler systems installed by a quickie, cheapy summer job, install 'em and forget 'em outfit long forgotten. Call Judson Irrigation. They'll never forget you.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
Sandhills Global is growing right here in Lincoln. With our expanding campus and continued growth, we're hiring across a wide range of careers, from interns to experienced professionals. Join the team at Sandhills Global and build your career with competitive pay, great benefits, and real opportunities to grow. Visit sandhills.jobs to view openings and apply today. That's sandhills.jobs.
Bagels & Joe is the best place to start off your mornings this April, and you can order your breakfast ahead of time on their app. April's cream cheese flavor is Green Goddess. Pair it with a Cadbury latte, and don't forget their caramel chocolate croissants. Stop by any of their 4 locations in Lincoln and their location in Seward. Bagels & Joe. Unearth the secret to long-lasting tires at Tread's Central Tire Pros, a league apart in commitment, service, and expertise. This isn't just about rubber meeting the road, but trust, safety, and surety converging in perfect harmony. This is where expectations are exceeded every time. Make your appointment today at Tread's Central Tire Pros, just south of Cortland on Highway 77, or visit our website to explore our services. Remember, when it comes to tires, choose Tread's Central Tire Pros because we tread differently.
Back to the Power Hour with Todd Uhlir on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, we're back, and this final segment is about momentum and opportunity, and it's brought to you by Window World of Lincoln and setthebarsubs.com. All right, because right now we're seeing both ends of the spectrum. So momentum, Husker softball, doubleheader sweep yesterday against Iowa. Go for the sweep, series sweep today at 1:00. Yours truly will be there. My buddy Kevin, his aunt died, so I have an extra ticket. So anybody out there that wants to go to the game,
see Todd Uhlir stopping for lunch here in a bit.
Shoot me an email, todduhlir@gmail.com.
If they see, did you say you're on the Chick-fil-A after this? Maybe somebody sees you online and. Somebody sees you in line and potentially wants a.
So I do have an extra ticket, so I want to make sure that gets used. I tried everybody, and everybody was busy. So unfortunately, for my buddy Kevin, his aunt died, and he's got to take care of the funeral and stuff today. So my condolences out to him and his family. But yeah, like Husker softball. I mean, what ranked number 1 in one of the polls, I think as low as 4 in some of the others. No matter what, they're top caliber team right now. Their confidence is high. I mean, they're playing clean, disciplined ball, and they're winning the way good teams should. I've said this the last couple of weeks. It's probably, the most dominant team in Husker, out of all of the Husker teams right now. They're one of the most dominant teams and performing at a high level. So they're not just winning games. They're really controlling games. So, And that's what it's going to take, coming down. They'll have the Big Ten tournament. I would assume that they're going to have the top seed in that.
Yep. It's them, Washington, Oregon, UCLA are your top 4 right now. That's in College Park, Maryland, first full week of May. And like you mentioned, there's been 28 of the last 29 they've won. Last loss was to UCLA, and before that it was in March.
Yeah, so playing really well. So, this team looks like they expect to win every time they step out on the field, and that's fun to watch as a Husker fan. Because we haven't seen a lot of that.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
So so shout out to the girls who are going to be out there for senior day today to take in my first game at the stadium. I was thinking about it. I went to a game. I went to a softball game. My wife's niece a long time ago played for Missouri, and so we went and watched her play against Nebraska, and that was a while ago.
A while.
Probably at least 15 years. I don't know how long this stadium's been around.
Bolin, I think it's been around for a while, but still.
I wonder, because I know I haven't been to this stadium. I have not been to Bolin Stadium.
Interesting. I opened in 2002 in March. So
24 years. Yeah, well, maybe I have been there then. Maybe I did go see it.
You have to recollect, keep your memory going.
Where did they play before that? We were just talking about that off air.
That's the thing. I don't
remember. I remember Buck Belzer Field because we practiced in their outfield basically. So I don't remember where the old softball field was.
I'm looking on the obviously on the they found there were.
And I think we still had the same. How long has Rhonda Ravel been our head coach?
She's been around 33 years.
Yeah,
33 years. She's been around for a long time and very successful throughout her entire career.
So she was here when I was here.
Interesting. I'm trying to find it here. I'll Google it, but like you said, Bolin Stadium's only been around for 20 some years. You think it's been there forever, right across the parking lot from Hawks Field. So you think maybe one day we would have known, but before that they played at Ballard Ball Field at the Lincoln Havelock District, and then later moved to the softball complex located at North Maple Lee Hall. They transitioned to Haymarket Park area Bolin Stadium in 2002. So those are your stadiums before.
All right.
So initial home was the Ballard Ball Field in the Havelock District. After that, they were an intermediate home at the Nebraska softball complex. That was adjacent to Maple Lee Hall.
Wow.
So there's that, and then the current home now is Bolin Stadium. So
it would have been in that one when I was here.
Exactly. But that's crazy to think about how much it's grown and where they've come from the Havelock area to across the street from a dormitory to here they are at Bolin Stadium and breaking attendance records like they did yesterday. And probably another big one. It's senior day.
Yeah. Let's maybe I'll be part of the attendance record.
Yeah. So you'll be one of 3,000 plus.
I need to get that other ticket though, so that we have that one. Maybe I'll just scan it.
Take it. Take it. You can take up 2 seats, maybe.
Yeah. Well,
get some leg room.
Yeah, get some leg room. That's what I need. So, especially after Chick-fil-A.
Fair. That's fair.
All right. So, good luck to the girls today. Excited to cheer them on. So let's talk about this NFL draft. We've got obviously Nebraska football has not sent a lot of guys in the draft, and this year's kind of the same thing. Emmett still hasn't gone. I look for him to go today.
Yep.
We were kind of talking who needs a running back. I would love this guy at Kansas City. I'm obviously a huge Kansas City fan. I just think he would fit that system, and he runs really hard. If you've watched Kansas City win their Super Bowls over the course of the running back is an integral part to Patrick Mahomes' success. And those guys at Kansas City run hard, and I think Emmett would fit that system.
He'd be a really good 1-2 combo for a guy like Isaiah Pacheco.
Right, yeah. Pacheco, that guy runs
hard, yes.
So hard.
He's not going to step out of bounds. He's going to put his head down. And
and the only other running backs I see like that are the Detroit Lions running backs.
Yeah, Jameer David Montgomery is no longer there, but Jahmyr Gibbs is one of them too, obviously.
Those guys run it's scary. And I'll tell you this as a former running back, those guys will not like this when the way they ran later in their life. They're going to be like me, all crippled. But they do not shy away from contact. It's pretty interesting in this era of of football, of all these, I like Saquon Barkley. I think he's a great, but he does try to avoid contact as much as possible. He will step out of bounds, which I'm not. Once again, it's smart.
Yeah.
Okay. It's smart. The average running back in the NFL lasts about 1.7 years or something like that, maybe 2.7 years. The career length in the NFL as a running back is not very long, for a good reason. You get hit really hard
Every time you touch the ball, and you touch the ball 20 times a game.
So I look for Emmett to go. Hopefully, I'm cheering for the Chiefs. Not sure that that's what they're looking for. I think other good fits would be, just as a Husker fan base, and then basically he's from Minnesota, so Minnesota would be really cool to see him go there. But they had quite a few picks last night.
They had
right?
3 of the last 6, and I'm sitting there watching it, and I'm like, all right, maybe one of these. There's a couple other teams in there as well. Like you have the Chargers coming up, who could have, obviously with Harbaugh's system, that's a really good system for a running back to be in.
Mm-hmm.
Denver's in there as well. The Colts have Jonathan Taylor, but they also have room there. They have a very good offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to figure out their quarterback position, but they have the line and the running back. Dallas is another one. There's plenty of teams in there, and you don't have to be a first-round running back to be a really good NFL player. So you put a guy like that in there who comes in, puts his head down. Obviously, he probably expected to be his name called off the board yesterday, so he's already got a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. So more than likely, I would say in the next half hour, because the draft round 4 starting here in about 5 minutes, rounds 4 through 7 across the NFL draft. I'm assuming his name gets called off the board within the next half hour, because the picks they're going pretty quick. So you got to keep your head on a swivel watching the draft.
So good luck to Emmett. Great kid, great person. I know, Trent was in the running back room with him for a year, and Trent really thinks highly of him, and I think everybody in Nebraska does too. I think, it would have been awesome for him to come back for another year, but I think he honestly did what he needed to do. Led the Big Ten in rushing and upped his drafts. Honestly, he wasn't on anybody's draft board before the season.
No.
Right?
He was just maybe like a 7th round guy, maybe undrafted guy, and how much he does. And you can't fault a guy for going out and, achieving a dream.
Yeah, absolutely. So best of luck to him today. Hopefully we hear, like Nick said, here in the next half hour. So what else we got? We got the rebuild, guys. I think that's going to be awesome. We got Husker baseball today. We got Husker softball today. We got the NFL draft. We got so much going on. So should be a busy day. And other than that, we'll look forward to seeing you guys next Saturday here on the Power Hour. Trying to get a couple guests lined up. It's always easier said than done. Matching up the schedule and being here at 10. So especially on a Saturday morning, people are
out and about with their family.
Yep. So, but we're working on that. We'll get some more guests in here for the Power Hour. So until next week, guys, God bless, much love, and peace out.
Three, two,